Hello, everyone. As of right now, it is 1:05 my time on Memorial Day, and this particular weekend has been a very trying weekend. We have lost two great poets in the poetic community, Gil Scott-Heron and Will Bell, and we are grieving. Even those who may not have known them personally were touched by their words. We are grieving. And so there's been this heaviness that just seemed to settle on me, especially today upon finding out that Will passed away. And I couldn't shake it. And all I kept hearing was right, right, right. And but I wasn't hearing anything. And I typically don't write if I don't hear. And yet I kept hearing right. And so tonight I was obedient. I sat down to do so. And the piece that came out is in dedication to both of those great men, but also to every poet. It is time for us to operate in our calling. It is time for us to operate in our gifts and on our anointing. It's for every person that has hidden their talent, taking it and putting it to the ground because they're afraid. They're afraid of losing it, or afraid of it not being what they think it should be. It's time to dig it up and do with it what you were called to do. This piece is called Right. I hope that you enjoy it. But more than that, I hope that it does what it was created to do. Bless you. God bless. I woke up this morning to death. Portrayed in black and white, letters displayed across my screen like it was an invitation to the marriage of death and sorrow given away by fear. And I shuddered. I stumbled slightly, feeling as though my breath had been stolen and I was choking on smoke of the lethal kind. Gas chamber, no mask, just the ticking of time. And I desperately wanted to crawl back into sleep, where the room was less harsh than the fluorescent lights of my screaming that death had come to visit. I would have cried, except my tears were stunted by the shock of my asthmatic breathing. Sorrow is always an abusive mistress, and she came with her whip to beat me into submission. Faltering under the pain, I willed myself numb. See, death is the unforgiving kind. It could care less if it interrupts time or shatters memories or even steals away rhymes. And the still, calm voice spoke right. Like it was that simple, as though parts of speech arranged into sentence could give meaning to the hearts that grieve, could give healing to the ones that felt as though they would bleed out forever. Right. How shallow of me to think of my pain and the pain of others in the face of such a commandment. But frankly, I'm not up for the task. Not exactly refusing to do what you ask. I'm just hesitant. Besides, I'm hearing nothing. Just writing on the walls of my mind. Spiritual eye. Right. 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 Okay, see, I hear you. But what shall I type upon these unworthy keys to express the heart of these? What shall I write? All I do is see, but can't hear. Right. Love calmly speaks. Right. What you see. Hear with your eyes. Right. And so I did. See, walls bricked and words confused and chaotic, tempered and glass meant to be shattered, and yet we treat it like a museum case. Listen, lights flicker from the distance. In the dimness of the day, we strain to see them, listening for something to say, anything to say. Please just give us something to say, and the only sound is right. Right. Oh, dear poet, don't you understand? We must write. We must write. We must write the wrongs first in words, for they are the very seeds of life and death, and not in the lyrical dopeness of a line that we perceive as fire, but through an anointing that frees and elevates us higher. Not simply in the consciousness of plights and problems, but the solutions that exist within that we have to solve them. write and move. Where do we go from here? See, legends die and poets are killed, but words remain long after poetic names fade and they grow. We grow from here. No, not you. You who are simply floating on a wannabe haphazard high of calling yourself a poet. No, see, because you just went. You were not sent, and it shows because your words have no power, and therefore it shows in the way that you live your life. But to you, who are willing to sacrifice your ego and pride and self-induced lies, willing to die so that others may live in the beauty that you leave behind, to those who can hear, listen, and translate, not hiding your talent into the ground, but willing to risk it all just to create more, to those who understand their power, that drowns in the anointing that flows past religious, rhetorical, ritualistic routines, systematic government issues, cultural divides, gender inequalities, and social status and sexual status quos, to the heart of the being, to the spirit that longs for freeing and offers them the greatest gift of life, love. To you, you must write, for the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few, and there is a brick wall between us, them, and truth. Write upon the wall and watch it fall. Write, poet. See, because death, it comes for us all, but it cannot take our words. Long after this earth is gone, the word will live forever and ever more. Now write. Write.